welcome back to episode 12 of our Coordinator Climb series here on Football Coach College Dynasty. Last we left off, things were going okay. They were looking pretty good. And then the collapse. My personal goal this season was to compete for the Big 12, compete in our division, and potentially make the playoff, assuming we win said championship game. But thus far, we sit at 3-4. We have lost 3 in a row, including blowouts to Bama and TCU. Oklahoma State beat us by 8 points. Kansas State scored 41 points on our defense, and that is how you get the losses that you do. The rest of the way, we have 5 games left. We face UCF, who, despite their 4-3 record, have the most talented team in the Big 12. Then we face 5-2 Iowa State, 1-6 New Mexico. We need to win this game. 3-4 Texas Tech, and then 5-2 West Virginia to close. That is the plan. May we succeed. I don't know if we will. I have faith. The faith, however, may be misplaced. So I did a little bit of looking at some depth chart shenanigans, looking at everything there. I moved a couple pieces around. Firstly, in wide receiver, River Reed is now our 6th wide receiver over redshirt freshman Hayden Hanna. I kind of want to give Reed a little bit more playing time to see what he can do. He was really impactful in the couple games that he was up there on the depth chart when Lincoln got injured. So I want to see if him being our 6th wide receiver will make a difference. You never know. It could happen. But that is where things stand at present. And now we can get into the games and hopefully not tumble any further, because the AD goal is win at least 7. We're at 3, which means we need to win 4 of our last 5 to satisfy the athletic director. Oh boy. All right, let's take a look at UCF. They're 4-3. They lost to UNLV, which is awkward. Iowa State and TCU, they are on a 3-game winning streak. Do they not play a ranked team? Wow. Must be nice. I'm jealous. 80th strength of schedule. What's mine? Yeah, 34. Oh boy. All right. It is in Waco, which is good. UCF is still favored by 3 points. We have 5 recruits visiting, including a JUCO O lineman that we really need, because we're going to lose a lot of O linemen to graduation or the draft. Let's rock and roll. Baylor wins the toss, and they elect to defer. So we start on defense. I have faith. I have faith in my defense. Is the faith misplaced? Yes, as they surrender an 18-yard run on 3rd and 9. And then they do engage 8 on 3rd and 11. Never change. But UCF turns it over anyway. We're okay. Never punished. One-yard run to start. There we go. Let's try slot outs. Great success. Connor Grace gets me 10, 7, and then 5. What a lad. 3rd and 4, I'm going to pass. And unless we get sacked, I'm going to go for it on 4th down. All right, I'm going for it on 4th down. Let's be aggressive. There we go. Maddox Lincoln, 7-yard pass for the conversion. We move. And the run gets us nowhere. Yeah, that tracks. We convert the 4th and 2 at the 9. Matthias gets me 3. And then Liam Hilton, the true freshman, with the touchdown over the middle. We're on the board. We went, over 2 on 3rd down, but 2 of 2 on 4th down. And that is what's most important. Defense gets a stop. Very nice. Thank you, thank you. Let's see if we can get any semblance of a run game going as Weaver gets me -2 yards. That tracks. The RPO bubble screen, I really just need to stop calling it, but it's so tempting if it works. There we go. Manning gets us 11. We're moving. We're shaking. I really just can't run the ball, can I? Oh, boy. 3rd and 6. Middle slant. Whoops. There we go. Send it. Oh, sacked. We'll try the field goal. And Rory makes it. Good for him. Oh, they did 4 verts on 3rd and 8. And then they did slants when we did engage 8. Our defensive coordinator is costing us the game. All right, UCF is on the board. I'm going to strangle the coordinator. Let's see if I can just burn 5 minutes, score a touchdown, and go into the second half and get the ball. Very good. Lincoln gets me 10. I'm never running it again. I think Kirk is just going to have to throw 58 passes. There we go. We convert to 3rd and 4. I'm going to switch to up-tempo. There we go. We get the conversion at the 4 now. There you go, chew clock. I'm going to run it once. No dice. Run it again. There we go. Gunnar Charter gets us in for a touchdown. He missed the... Rory. You can't complain about being the backup, threaten to transfer, and then miss 2 extra points. I know you have an upper body injury, but come on. All right. Well, we get the ball to start second half. We're already up 9. Pretty good. The run worked. The pass did not. We convert on hitches, though. Oh, sacked. How many sacks is that? Only 2. Usually we've been good to give up 3 sacks a game. So I expect 1 to come post-haste. All right, defense holds them to a field goal, so it's a 6-point game. A touchdown gives UCF the lead. River Reed with a 10-yard pass. It's good to get him involved. Because I think, even though I think Hannah is going to become a better receiver than River, I think River needs to play also. 4th and 1, we're just going to do QB sneak. There we go. Kurt gets me 2. Very good. I want to try a screen. I almost talked myself into it. Weaver gets me a yard. It really is unbelievable how bad our run game is, considering our offensive line is almost entirely like run blockers. All right, we convert the 3rd and 6. Thank you to the true freshman. Second and goal at the 5. Nothing doing. Samuel goes backwards, so we kick a field goal. That drive took a decent amount of time. Yeah, 10 minutes, 16 seconds off the clock. It is now a 2-possession game. And UCF punts. Okay, I think if we score a touchdown here on this drive, I think we just win based on the amount of time left. Let's see if we can run out some clock here. Already at the 50 after the Kirk scramble. Very good. Incompletions. We punt. And that burned 5 minutes on 9 plays. And they're only at the 3. Never mind, they're at the 50 after 2 plays. Oh boy. All right, 4th and 6. And they don't convert it. Ty Sloan picks him off. Very good. We convert to 3rd and 6. That is essentially ball game. One more pass for the road. There we go. And that is that. We beat UCF 19-10. That's a huge win. That is a huge, huge win. I mean, if we lose this game, we would have had to win out the rest of the way. So we get the win. Really happy with time of possession. We started, 0 for 2 on 3rd down, finished 9 of 14. I'll take that. Only 2.5 rushing yards per attempt is very terrifying. Kirk had a good game. None of our running backs did well, which is, not nothing. Ricardo Manning was only targeted once, which is a bit strange. And then Lane made the field goals but missed the extra point. He does have an upper body injury, so it could always be that, except he's missed extra points already this season, so shrug. All right. Wisconsin running back had 5 rushing touchdowns. That'll play. Official visit results looks like 465 for everyone, 565 for the running back, but we're way too far from him. We're now 771 ahead of Notre Dame for the O lineman. NC State's not going to be ranked this week, so we could get him. No recruits have committed. I can't wait to be a head coach to where I don't have to deal with auto recruit. Like, the idea that no one's committed by week 10 is kind of insane. How many recruits are we ahead on? We're ahead on 16. We're not going to get Crockett, are we? I mean, if he waits until week 12, we might get him. I'd really like Quentin Crockett. Because after he redshirts, that catching and route running should be okay. All right, good news. We beat UCF. Bad news. We still pretty much have to beat everyone else the rest of the way, including Iowa State, who I have yet to play at Baylor, I believe. All right, Iowa State, 5-3. They lost to West Virginia, Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State is just playing spoiler. They beat me. They beat Iowa State. They beat Buffalo. Killing me. They just lost to Kansas State. Hey, what did I say last stream? I think Kansas State is just the most underrated team in the country. Now they're ranked, doing pretty well for themselves, just beat Iowa State in overtime. Like, look out for Kansas State. Not that. The Big 12 just didn't do a good job getting anyone ranked, which is kind of our fault when you think about it, but it's fine. Mathematically now, we can win the division, but again, it would require both TCU and West Virginia to lose out, us win out, and then a whole other shenanigans. So let's play the game against Iowa State. We're at home. We're favored by 2, which means on a neutral, Iowa State would be favored. We have 10 recruits visiting. Very nice. Some high potential guys down there. Oh, whoops. I did play Iowa State last year. I just completely forgot about the game. That's awkward. We win the toss and elect to defer. And Iowa State gets one first down, but not another. And they are forced to punt. Very good. Also, I like just fundamentally that a booster of a school with an air raid offense is like, you know who I want to get All American? Not the QB or the wide receivers, the running back. And I'm like, sure. How long's the field goal? 50. I'm going to punt and hope we burn them. Nope. That was a net 13-yard punt. All right, defense gets a stop, which is good. I didn't want to go for it there because the field position would have been pretty good for Iowa State if we don't get it. Punt anyway. And 4th and 7 is pretty long. They get the conversion and the touchdown. So we're down 7-0. That run game just isn't there. Sacked again. We're good for 3 a game, and we're already at 2 in the early first quarter. There we go. Good stop by the defense. Kirk is sacked again, man. At a certain point, this feels personal. There we go. Pick 6 from safety, Brent Wise. And we're on the board. Hey, listen, however we get points, I don't care. Man, the AI really has to stop doing engage 8 every 2 minutes. Good stop there to force a field goal. All right, we have a minute 23. 2 timeouts to our name. Very good. We now have no timeouts left, which is a bit grim. We're at the 13. And Ricardo Manning, touchdown off the curl route. Extra point is good. And we start with the ball in the second half. What a very nice turn that was. Ooh, Elliott Paul, 20 yards to get us the conversion. And Caleb Matthias, they do an over linebacker blitz. We do a slant through the middle, 54 yards for the touchdown. I can see the victory in my mind's eye. There we go. Defense gets the punt. All right. It is time for us to have a run game for the first time today. And I'm going to do it with a designed QB run. And it's a 50-yard run. I'm a genius. Very good. Gunner Trotter gets us to the 1, and then he gets the touchdown. 18-point game. Where was this team all of last episode? I ask you. Like, what happened? 3rd and 6. Take a shot. Send it. I mean, he threw it to the one route that wasn't deep, but it's fine. It's fine. 1st and goal at the 8, and Gunner Trotter runs it in. That's 2 touchdowns for him on the day. Very good. 3rd and 3, I'm going to run it. If we don't get it, I'm just going to run it again. We got it anyway. No issue. All right, backups are now in on offense because we are up by more than 24 in the 4th quarter. Henry goes nowhere, and we punt. Oh, boy. All right, the starters are back in. Oh, poor backups. You get one drive, it doesn't go well. Backups on defense get destroyed. And now here we are. But now it's sub 5 minutes, so the backups are in once again. We get the conversion. Very good. Let's try a screen. Yeah, it kind of works. 6 yards. 1st and goal at the 8. I'll take the field goal. Boy, and Iowa State gets picked at the death. Looked like they were going to score for pride, but no dice. All right. That is a huge. Where was this team for the first half of the season? We beat Iowa State 38-17. One of our best performances on offense. Interestingly, time of possession was nearly in Iowa State's favor. Kirk, we didn't throw the ball that much, only 22 times, 230 yards, 2 touchdowns. Adonis Bean came in, threw the ball 8 times, 5 completions. Running game was okay. Gunnar Trotter getting 2 touchdowns is nice. Weaver never really got going. Lawrence Kirk being our leading rusher on 7 carries. 3 of those carries, quote unquote, were sacks, is not great. Pretty good day from the wide receivers. Manning, Matthias got touchdowns. Yeah, Cameron Tahir being targeted once. It's a little rough, especially when the backups were playing for almost an entire quarter. But hey, we get the win. Maybe similarly to Football Manager, there's a hidden luck roll that is done every time you load up the game, which will determine how times like a random chance or something goes your way. Maybe that's the explanation. Oh, Elliot Paul, minor injury for the sophomore. I might just move him to inactive the rest of the season. Which is rough, but like he has the worst catching and route running than everyone outside of my bottom 2 guys. Speed, he's worse than everyone in the top. Yeah, we're gonna move him to inactive. So that'll get more reps for Reed and Hannah, which is good, but that's rough. I mean, that's the rest of the season that he's gonna be out, and it's a shame. He was having a better season too in his sophomore year. All right, official visit results 490 for most, 700, 600 for a few guys. Overall, pretty good. I love that we're competing with Ball State for a terrible quarterback. Lord help me. Any commits? No commits. See, that's something that kind of annoys me. Like, we just had recruiting visits for these kids, and we're like 1,500 points ahead on Maxim. We're 1,000 points ahead on Jaden Willis. I feel like that should get us some manner of signature, but that's just me. All right, I'm not going to check the Big 12 standings because it's just going to depress me if I see that TCU and Kansas State are still winning everything. So, New Mexico is our next opponent. They're 1-8. For some reason, the AI decided to like set $5 million on fire by having us play them. They beat Kansas. Oh, poor Kansas. That's rough. Imagine beating Kansas. You're like, okay, we might have a good football team, and then you just lose 8 in a row. It looks like their defense is actually terrible. Their offense is last in the country in yards per game and plays per game. All right. If we don't win this game by at least 30 points, we're doomed. We're at home. We're favored by 21. 5 recruits visiting. Last season, we beat them only by 17. This year, I am expecting much better. New Mexico wins the toss and defers. Interesting. I'm not going to complain. We shall start with the ball. I would like a 10-minute drive that ends in a touchdown, please. If we would have gone 3 and out there, sell the team. Just right now, really. 4 verts. Didn't work. But slot corner did. So we're okay. And Maddox Lincoln with the touchdown on the go route. We're up 7-0. And New Mexico punts. Yeah, I foresee this is a game where we could just kind of do whatever we want against this defense. That said, they're getting us to third down a lot, which isn't nothing. Incompletion on third down, we'll take the extra point. I think my philosophy for this game is going to be very simple. Run the ball, run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. Because I just want to burn a lot of clock right off into the sunset. Garrett Weaver, 36-yard run. Gunnar Trotter gets 8 yards. And then Kirk gets sacked. Fair enough. Oh, boy. Defense forces another punt. Kirk is sacked again. That's 3 already in the first half. Our offensive line just really isn't good. Only a madman would do a sweep and a 2-minute drill. But hey, if it works, it works, you know? Third and goal at the 5. I'm going to pass it. I'm going to turn chew clock on, though, for this play. And we get the touchdown. Maddox Lincoln. What a lad. I'm going to go for 2. Because why not? We don't get it. And New Mexico punts. And they go 3 and out. My want was to win by 30. We are on track to do so, though, to New Mexico's credit, like, they're forcing a lot of third downs. They're sacking Lawrence a lot. We punt. And this is a team that I mean, they were 18th in sack coming into this game. So their D line is good at that. Trotter goes backwards. That's fair. 21-yard scramble. That'll play. Dang. I mean, let's be frank. We were always gonna win this game in a blowout. But to New Mexico's credit, they're holding us to a lot of field goals, which teams don't usually do. Back-to-back incompletions. We punt. The AI has finally decided that we should chew clock for this game. Thank you. Run the ball. 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 RPO. Dang, it didn't work. But Lawrence Herc scrambles for a touchdown. That'll do. Backups are now in on defense, and they force a 3 and out. Very good. Let's give some of the backups on offense some work. 1-yard completion on the screen. Listen, I saw the vision. All right. Yeah, I mean, I wanted to win by 30. We won by 29. Sadness, but we blew out a team that we should have blown out. The New Mexico went 0 for 10 on third downs. They never had a single third down conversion. They averaged 1 yards rushing. Like, come on. When your drive chart is 3 plays 5 yards, 6 plays 22, 3 plays 5, 3 plays 2, 3 plays 5, 3 plays -3, 3 plays 8, 4 plays 19, 3 plays -6, 3 plays 8, I don't think you're going to win a game of football. But we got the win. I ended up throwing it a little more than I had intended, admittedly. But nonetheless, really good game. Lawrence Kirk had 2 passing touchdowns and 1 rushing touchdown. That'll do. Lane was perfect on kicks, which we like to see because he has been pretty shaky this year as far as kickers go, but that is what it is. Oh, Hayden Hanna has a concussion. He's out 2 weeks. Quit injuring my wide receivers. So we are now down to 8 wide receivers. Elliott Paul is out essentially for the season. Hannah is going to miss the last 2 games. All right, Cameron Tahir is going to get some run. We'll see what he can do. I wish Amari Escobar, wouldn't transfer, but realistically, he probably should. Official visit results, we got 420 for everybody, 320 for Valdez. Not too shabby. We have 3 commitments. And all of them are Baylor bound, and all of them are defensive backs, so I care not. All right, pretty good going. After we lost 3 in a row, we picked up 3 straight wins. Our defense has allowed 27 points in 3 games, which is awesome. Very good. We have Texas Tech, West Virginia to close. All right, let's do it. Let's look at the Big 12 standings. Depress me. Kansas State looks like they're going to win the North. And TCU is still winning every game of football. Who does TCU have left? Houston and Texas Tech. So yeah, if they don't lose to Houston, they're not losing to Texas Tech. They needed double overtime to beat both Oklahoma State and UTEP. Man, we're never winning this dang division. But yeah, I think even if we win out, TCU loses out. We have the same conference record, but they beat us. So we are officially not going to make the Big 12 championship game, which is a little disappointing if I'm being honest. But, we have only ourselves to blame. We got beat by, admittedly, it looks like a pretty good Kansas State team that is ranked. We got blown out by Bama, beaten by TCU. The Oklahoma State loss is the one that sucks. That's the one that we really, really should have won. The fact that we didn't is depressing. All right, Texas Tech is our next opponent. They're 4-6 this year, 2-5 in conference. They have not beaten a single ranked opponent. Their only out of conference win is against Eastern Michigan. Shout out the MAC. And they beat Kansas State. We didn't. That's not nothing. Wow. They're not a good football team. Bottom 15 in points per game. Bottom 20 rushing. Defensively, they're all over the place. Yeah, they're just like a below average, classic below average football team. Well, let's see if we can beat them. A win here, we are guaranteed to meet the athletic director expectations. For those keeping track at home, the head coach goal, 360 yards in conference play. We're at 358. So there's a sub goal the rest of the way. We're at home. We're favored by 14, which is a pretty big spread. We have 10 recruits visiting, including the recruit I want the most, Quentin Crockett, who has 87 speed as a high school recruit. I really want to get his signature. Leonardo Polk would be okay, but he is not nearly as exciting. Let's be honest here. All right, let's play Texas Tech. 3-game winning streak. Let's see if we can keep it alive. Defense forces a 3-and-out. That'll play. Very good punt return from Braxton Barrett. And Kirk is picked. Not great. Texas Tech converts. 1 third down, but not 2. All right. New goal. Let's not turn the ball over. Ready, break. Garrett Weaver went backwards. Fair enough. We punt. Not a good showing from the offense. They missed the field goal, though. I can't really laugh at them. Lane has missed like 5 this season. Sacked? Really? How dare you? Hitches. When Hitches doesn't work, you have no chance. Quick 3-and-out, though. Our defense is trying to hold us in here. There we go. Caleb Matthias, 37 yards. Levels actually worked for once. Well, they're going for it on 4th and 3. and they get it 11 yards. And they missed the field goal. Oh, no. Oh, no. Texas Tech, oh, no. Man, our run game just... Yeah, they're averaging 0.3 yards per rush. We're averaging 2.9. This is not a game on the ground. First and goal to 2 is slightly terrifying. I am going to turn chew clock on for one play in case we don't convert. We do. All right, cool. Up-tempo's going on. I mean, you might as well try to get in field goal range at least. As I say that, Kirk is sacked, and we convert on third down. There we go. Play action gets us to midfield. We go backwards again. I love it here. We convert on 3rd and 3. We got one timeout left at the 2. And Gunnar Trotter runs it in. 11-point game. We did leave Texas Tech a bit of time, but no matter. All right, yardage check. We're at 194. What's the target again? 360? Yes, 360 is the target. So we need to do better. Quit sacking me, man. We punt. I'm not doing verticals. I will do curl flats. Man. QB sneak. Send it. Whoo, he got a yard. Oh, boy. Cameron Tahir, 22-yard reception. Good for the freshman. And Kirk is sacked again. Rory makes the 42-yarder. Tell me why Rory has been kicking better with an upper body injury than when he was fully healthy. Someone explain that one to me. There we go. We're moving. We're in the red zone. And Garrett Weaver runs it in for the touchdown. He's not had a lot of touchdowns this year, so that's good of him. Our defense is just lights out. Only allowed 3 points, and it was off of a offense turnover. So, can you really say anything? And Samuel Waite runs it in for a touchdown. The backups are now in on defense. And they get a stop. Very good, lads. Jet sweep. It didn't work, folks. We shall punt. It didn't work, everyone. All right, we win. We get 400 yards of offense. Very good. Very nice. We win 31-3. Dominant performance. We were only 3 of 10 on third down, which, slightly terrifying. Again, our running game just isn't great. Like, for whatever reason, even though we have a more run-based offensive line, our running backs just can never get it going. But Lawrence Kirk was pretty good. Did have the early pick, but that is what it is. Tahir, despite being at the bottom of the depth chart right now, targeted 6 times and had 6 catches. Good for him. Ricardo Manning only targeted 3 times. He's just never going to get involved. And Rory Lane was perfect on kicks. Their guy missed 2 field goals. We get the win. All right. We've officially satisfied the athletic director's expectation. But now the question becomes, did TCU beat Houston? Yep. There goes that. So yeah, it looks like it's going to be Kansas State versus TCU for the championship, assuming Kansas State wins their last game against Kansas. But we'll see. All right, official visit result, 495 for everyone. A bit higher for some players. Looks like we're not going to get Daniel Rollins. which is a bit annoying because had we gotten him, I could have redshirted him for 1 year and then he would have been awesome for the next two, but that is what it is. We're 360 points behind on Quentin Crockett. I really wish the AI would have spent more, offered more NIL, but so be it. We do have one recruit commit, and he chooses TCU, does the defensive lineman. Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. Final game of the season. I mean, if at the end of last stream, the vibes were grim. We had just lost 3 in a row, needed to win 4 of our next 5, and our defense went from being a complete sieve for the first half of the season, has become lights out the rest of the way. We have only allowed 30 points in the last 4 games. And now we go up against West Virginia. They are 6-5, 4-4 in the Big 12. Out of conference, Fresno State, Ohio, and Western Kentucky. They lost to Ohio in overtime, lost to UC, Kansas State, and UCF. I mean, what I'm just discovering is that our schedule was harder than almost everyone's in the Big 12 in that first half of the season, and we just couldn't cover it. Here we go. So we're currently at 364 yards per game. The number we need is 360. So that's looking okay. Here we go. West Virginia. It's a pick 'em game. However, we're at West Virginia. So on a neutral site, we'd be favored. Man, our rush yards per game is so bad. We're 118th in the nation. All right, West Virginia has 10 recruits visiting, none of whom we're interested in or even scouted for that matter. Last year, we beat Western Virginia 42-10. It was a very nice blowout. I would love more of the same. Baylor won the toss, and the AI elected to receive, which is fair. Full send. He never full sends it on the slot outs. It really is mystifying. And 3 straight incompletions we punt. 3rd and 1, I'll run it. Ooh. Let's pass. Yeah, Maddox Lincoln, 6 yards. Never punished. He already has more targets in the 6 minutes this game has been played than all of the last 2 games. Just kind of wild when you think about it. Cameron Tahir gets me to the 6, and Garrett Weaver runs it in for a touchdown. Uh-oh. West Virginia is driving. They're going for it on 4th and 2, and they get it. Good for them. So they convert on 3rd and 10 because the AI did an all-out blitz. Sometimes, man, the AI defensive coordinator makes decisions that I just do not understand. That's another reason why I'm looking forward to finally being a head coach in the series next couple seasons, is actually choosing what the defense does. Because, man, all right, they get a field goal. They have the lead. We need to step it up. There we go. Big 3rd down conversion on 3rd and 7. The 4 verts worked. River Reed, 29 yards for the 1st down. Thank you, sir. Lawrence Kirk has been sacked. How dare you all? He's sacked again. Quit sacking me, man. I know it's only been twice, but it was on the same possession, so it seemed worse. Oh, and they got a touchdown on 4 verts. Jealous. All right, we need to drive down the field with a will. There we go. 34 yards on the go route to Maddox. That'll do. 2nd and 18. Quit sagging me. At a certain point, it just feels personal. Deep passes are nerfed. Medium passes are nerfed. Then guess what? Slants. It got me 2 yards, folks. I don't think he makes the 46-yarder. I'm genuinely going to go for it on 4th and 11. And we get it. 20-yard pass to Connor Grace for the first down. Very good. Let's run the ball once. No dice. Sacked again, man. I really hope there wasn't an injury to the offensive line. So we have to settle for a field goal. Offensively, we had 200 yards of offense for the 360 tracker. West Virginia is driving, and they get the touchdown. It's an 11-point game now. Time to step it up. Kirk is sacked twice. He's been sacked 6 times this game, man. Unbelievable. They punt finally. Let's try a sweep. Yeah, it kind of worked, but the slants gets me the first down. Maybe I just can't run deep passes. There we go. We convert the 3rd and 1. That'll play. And the 3rd and 5. All right, we have to get in the end zone. I think if we don't get in the end zone, we probably end up losing this game. Just by how quickly West Virginia is scoring. 3rd and 6. Where's my Y corner? Field goal gets me up to 8. I'll take it. 4th and 6 is just a touch too long, but our defense needs to stop them. And they allow a 45-yard rush immediately. West Virginia gets the touchdown. 15-point ball game. Man. I mean, don't get me wrong. Our offense, we've not been playing up to our standard. The defense has been horrible. 4th and 3, obviously, we're going for it. Incomplete off the slants. No dice. And Kirk fumbles, and West Virginia recovers. That is your ball game right there. Now it's all about getting points for pride. Fair enough. That's what I get for running it there. That's what I deserve. I was like, surely the running backs can get me a yard. They could not. Hey. And that's your ball game. West Virginia just crushed us. We won time possession by a lot, but we did not have a run game at all. Lawrence Kirk got sacked 7 times. Just nothing. We didn't do great offensively, but defensively, I mean, my God. They allowed their starting running back to have 130 yards, 7.2 average. Backup running back had 70 yards, 2 touchdowns. Yeah, that was probably a worse defensive game the AI had than even against Alabama. All right, well, good news is we needed to win 4 of the last 5 to satisfy the athletic director. Good news is we won it, but losing at the end like that just sucks. Also, mathematically, we will have a worse record this season than last season, which is never good. Hayden Hanna is back. Let's move him up. But yeah, that was a bit painful. All right, cool. We still met the coach expectation. We got 364 yards. So no issue there. TCU goes 11-1. Their only loss to Kansas State. Good for them. Any recruiting commits? 5 commits. Of the 5, 2 choose Baylor. We do get Liam Drayton, who is going to start for us. I really hope he gets a good pass block boost. And then Jaden Willis, who, I mean, is he really a tight end? Like, I know I can't change his position, but like, actually, I will be able to change his position because he's an offensive player. But like, shouldn't he not be a tight end? You know what? I don't know. I'm not going to ask questions. I'm like, maybe I should, but I won't. All right. Well, we finished the regular season 7-5. I think objectively a disappointment given last season and the success we had, the fact we finished ranked. I think losing to Kansas State, Bama, and TCU, there's no shame in that. But losing to Oklahoma State and then losing in the way we did to West Virginia, those are the two losses that really inexcusable. But it is what it is. A slew of new commits. We don't get Crockett. God, I can't wait until I can recruit. Because Quentin Crockett would be in my program, and he would be probably like a top 3 wide receiver in 2 years with his speed. Stanley Joseph is committed. So why the AI has committed a QB that's not going to play for 2 years, that wants to be a star and has bad potential, I don't know. But they did. So here we are. All right, conference championship week in the Big 12. It is Kansas State against TCU like we figured. Kansas State does not finish the year ranked because they lost to Oklahoma State, which is rough. No real surprises in terms of title games. Wisconsin continues to be the most overpowered team in this game every year. It is crazy how good they are. All right, let us advance to bowl announcements, playoff announcements. We're going to get a bowl game. We had 7 wins. We'll see what we get. In the playoff, 10-2 Oregon miss out on the playoff. 12-1 James Madison also miss out. That's rough. Instead, 10-3 Arizona State. They won their conference 10-3. 10-3 Penn State making it over 10-2 Oregon. That would be a fun discourse. OSU made it over Oregon. What was Oregon's schedule? Oh, I guess I can't. There we go. Oregon, they beat only 2 ranked teams. They lost to 2 ranked teams down the stretch. They didn't make the Pac-10 game. Guess that'd be why. All right, we are in the Armed Forces Bowl against Georgia State. It's played in Texas, Fort Worth. Georgia State went 8-4 this year, 7-2 in the Sun Belt. Had a pretty competitive out-of-conference scheduling. New Mexico State obviously is not a good football team, as we demonstrated when we were offensive coordinator for them in year 1. But they scheduled Tulane. They scheduled Penn State. Losing 6-7 is the ugliest stat line I've ever seen, but I think we should win this game. We have a pretty good defense, to be fair. So that could be an interesting one. All right, a couple more commits. All right, we get the really good JUCO safety. However, because the AI doesn't change defensive positions, that means he's probably going to be like 4th in the safety depth chart. That is what it is. All right, let's see some awards. I think we should have probably three all conference players on offense. We have one total player. Oh boy. No All Americans, which is to be expected. Brent Weiss gets really. I mean, Brent Weiss getting all conference makes sense. He had 2 interceptions, but like, really? Oh, come on. One touchdown, 26-15. One touchdown, 26-15. Where is Barrett? Ah, yeah, he averaged more yards, kick and punt return. Fair enough. All right. I always figure that his like 93 kickoff return was a touchdown, but he did get tackled at the 3 yard line, to be fair. Well, that sucked. Yeah, nobody winning. Nobody making all conference. It's a little bit. A little bit. Anyone make all freshmen? We really only had one freshman that had a chance, and it was Hilton, but he does not. Hold on. 16 catches, 165 yards. Our guy, 16 catches, 171 with a touchdown. Why did Michigan's guy make it? You know what, Liam Hilton, you were host. It's true. All right. Recruits, 6 commits, of which we get 0 of them. God, I can't wait until I can recruit. It really is insanity how bad the auto recruit is with prioritizing various players. But hey, this is going to be a big coaching carousel for us. So we must keep that in mind. That also means as a team, we went 0 for 5 on donor goals. We lost to TCU. That took us out of the running for 2 of them. We did not have a linebacker, corner, or running back make all conference. And finally, we allowed way too many yards against Bama. Yeah. I mean, I know I am on the record saying I am at Baylor for as long as Lawrence Kirk is at Baylor. And don't get me wrong, Lawrence Kirk is a good quarterback, but like, eh, but we cannot look to the future. We must look at the present. We're facing Georgia State in the Armed Forces Bowl. It is a pick'em game. Georgia State looks like they have a very good defense. Offensively, their run game is pretty good, which means our defense is screwed. These two teams have never played each other, and neither of them have played in the Armed Forces Bowl in the past. So I expect to win this game. Georgia State won the toss and elected to defer. We shall start with an inside handoff. And it got us 8 yards. We're winning the game. Just give us the win right now, folks. No, sacked already. We convert the 3rd and 14. Thank you, Matthias. That is one thing I did want to check. How are they on sacks? 61. They're slightly above average. I can work with that. What I can't work for is a run that goes 1 yard and then an incompletion. For the last Georgia State punts. I think an 8-5 season with a bowl win is not bad. A 7-6 season with a bowl loss is bad, especially considering how well we did last year. 3rd and 4, I'm going to pass it. We don't get it. I'll take the points. I might come to regret that, but we'll see. Normally, with a better run game, I'd run it there and get like a 4th and 2 and then just run it. But as we've established, our run game is very bad as Georgia State waltzes down the field for a touchdown. See if we can match here. 3rd and 4. Slants. It worked. The bubble screen also worked. We're so back. 3rd and 1. I'm going to run it. If I don't get it, I'm running it again. We got it. Very good. We have to sell for another field goal. And the AI does engage 8 on 2nd and 7 and gets burned for 63 yards. Very good. 4 minutes left. I'll keep it on normal until we get to like midfield. And if we're able to cross it, then I'll go up tempo. Nope, we punt. All right, Georgia State punts. Now I'm definitely going up tempo, and we're just going to try to get down the field. Short passes and medium passes are nerfed. No matter. We shall throw the deep ball with great success. Never mind, Lawrence got sacked. Man. That was about one of the worst offensive first halves we've had. Averaged 1.9 yard rush, 3 for 8 on 3rd down. Not winning the possession battle by much. We must improve. But Georgia State gets a touchdown, so they're now up by 11. There we go. We convert the 3rd and 5. That's big. Medium passes are nerfed. How dare you? You know what? QB run. Only 2 yards. But Maddox Lincoln gets me the first. Thank you, sir. Always knew I could count on the Lincoln. Sacked again, man. And he missed the field goal. Oh, boy. We are having some trouble here. Our defense isn't playing bad either. That's the worst part. We just can't get in that end zone, man. But hey, Georgia State has a good defense. We knew this. All right, we're looking okay. We are in the red zone. No excuse not to score a touchdown here. And Maddox Lincoln drops the curl route, and Rory Lane misses the 24-yard field goal, and that might honestly just be ball game. We're just all right. We get a pick. Our defense is trying, man. There we go. We get the conversion. Come on, guys. Make that. All right, 8-point game, 6 minutes left. Why would you do engage 8 on 3rd and 9? Oh, I'm so tired of being a coordinator. Yep. Yeah, I mean, I think that sums up our season pretty well. I mean, this was a game that we should have won, and offensively, we just couldn't get anything going. And then on defense, Georgia State didn't have the ball much, but when they did, they scored touchdowns. We just couldn't get in the end zone. Like, Trotter had 10 carries for 21 yards. What a disappointing game. So yeah, our final record is 7-6 with a bowl loss. I mean, Lane also missed 2 field goals, but even if he makes them both, we lose by what, 2 instead of 8? Well, in all honesty, if he makes the second one that he missed, then it's an 8-point game when we need it to be. But yeah. That was very disappointing. I think there's a fundamental problem with the air raid offense in this game, in that unless you have like a very, 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 very good accurate QB, you're going to be in trouble. And we had that for 2 years at Louisiana Tech with Kenneth Suzuki. We have not had that at all in any other team. And the differences in how the offense plays out is staggering. 7-6 with a bowl loss, man. Not where we want to be at all. We do get some commits. Maxime Campbell, who's just going to be bad, and I'm probably going to cut after redshirting for a year. Andrew Drayton, who has terrible athleticism, okay ball skills, but he only has C plus potential. And Corey McDonald, who, he'll redshirt for a year and hopefully he becomes good. But I think this is going to be a very, very interesting coach carousel, but we'll see. Playoff update. Bama beat UCF by 10. Notre Dame blows out Arizona State. Georgia beats Penn State, and OSU destroys Clemson on national television. It's advance a week. Hopefully we get some more commits because we need them. All right. Wisconsin beats Bama. Notre Dame beats LSU close. Georgia blows out TCU. That's disappointing for the Big 12. And OSU beats Florida State. Bowl games. Big 12. Cincinnati beat Oregon. Very good. Very good for the Big 12. Kansas State loses a close one to ranked South Carolina. Good on South Carolina for being ranked. Good on them. Any other Big 12 notes? Oh, yeah, SMU's. For a split second, I was like, isn't SMU? But Houston beats SMU. West Virginia lost to Washington State. Oh, Louisiana Tech lost their bowl game. That's disappointing. UCF beat Utah. Very good. Hey, Ball State won a bowl game. Woo! Iowa State beat Western Kentucky. That is that. All right. Recruiting commits. We go 0 for 5. Very good. So we have 10 commits right now for the record. God, I feel like I almost want to take a head coaching job just so I can be in charge of recruiting again, which is not a good reason to want to be a head coach. You should want it because it makes sense with your career path. But my God, the amount of players that we're missing out on that I know we could get if I was in charge. We get a couple players. We do get Leonardo Polk, who I think will be good in a couple years, but the problem with your jack of all trades, master of none wide receivers is inevitably they're not going to get good gains in either ball skills or athleticism. So you're either going to have a slow, non-evasive catcher or a speed demon that's not even that quick who can't really catch or run a route. So in the Natty, it is OSU against Wisconsin. Big Ten showout. And then just so he's not inactive anymore, let's get Elliot Paul back up there. All right. I predict Wisconsin wins the Natty by 10 points. And OSU won it by 8. Fair enough. All right. OSU wins the national championship. That is their third of this save. They've won it 3 of the past 4 years. Well done for them. Okay, so we met the coach's expectation and got 0 opinion change. We met the AD and got 0 change. We had no player promises to worry about, so the integrity barely moves. Fan base passion does not quite make it to a C. I think if we win the bowl game, it probably does. I mean, in my opinion, this was a disappointing year. Like last season, we went 9-4 with a bowl win and finished ranked. This year, 7-6 with a bowl loss. Like very disappointing. But I mean, when you look at the talent level, we had the 83rd offense in terms of talent. Most of that is down to our running back room and the back end of our offensive line. Which even you want to talk about a disappointing offensive line, like Drake Newman gave up 9 sacks, Christian Snyder gave up 9, Julian Lewis gave up 7, Jesus Cohen and Ray Arnold gave up 5. Like we just did not have the offensive line didn't perform. Our running game wasn't good, like objectively speaking. And we just didn't have the QB or wide receiver play to compensate. And that is how you end up with 98 in yards per game. However, also, we don't get a lot of yards usually, but still. All right, coaching updates. If we do level up, I'm going to put another point in recruiting, just in anticipation of us getting a head coaching job in the future. The head coach leveled up. Defensive coordinator did not, which is rough. Okay. Now we move on to the coaching carousel. Our contract with Baylor had a double lock that has now ended. So if we want to leave Baylor for either another offensive coordinator job or a head coaching job, we are able to do so. I'm going to be honest, I don't really want to leave for another offensive coordinator job because I think being an offense coordinator at 4 schools would kind of get a bit old. So I think I'd rather either stay at Baylor and try to bounce back next year or leave for a head coaching gig. I think that's where I'm at. So let's look at the coaching carousel. Obviously, no need to renegotiate. We're in 2 years of a 4-year deal. And we do have 2 head coach offerings, a handful of offense coordinator that I'm obviously never taking. The 2 head coach offerings are Charlotte and New Mexico. Now, to be clear, our head coach is from New Mexico because I literally just picked a dot on a map. I don't think I don't think that either the head coach. I mean, definitely not New Mexico. With New Mexico, and I know this because played as New Mexico in a previous save. You are the worst team in the Mountain West year in, year out. And you're not in a great place for recruiting because you can't really get Texas kids. And believe me, I tried to get Texas kids. You can't really get them. And it's not a fun time. So I think definitely not New Mexico. Charlotte is in the American. However, similarly to New Mexico, I mean, they have 3 wins the past 3 years. What do you want from me? Like, there's nothing about this team that's good. They have a decent QB, but he's about to graduate. Their running back room, honestly, is on par with mine, which is a terrifying thing to say. Yeah, wide receivers aren't that great. They do have some high potential guys, to be fair. But I think I would rather stay at Baylor and hope we have a better year next season, and that gives me better head coaching opportunities down the road. So yeah, I think we're going to decline the head coaching offers for Charlotte and New Mexico. No point in going to any of these other schools for an offensive coordinator position. So we're going to stay on our current contract. Both Ruben John and DeAndre Hendricks stay also. All right, we're running it back with the same coaching staff for a third year in a row. It doesn't happen all that much. Any changes in the Big 12? Oklahoma State has a new head coach. They got Georgia's defensive coordinator. That is the only head coaching change. Any retirements from the Big 12? Oklahoma State head coach. That's how we got there. And the defensive coordinator also. All right. Well, I mean, on the one hand, it's disappointing that the only head coaching offers were 2 one-star schools. On the other hand, we did have a down year this year, and the offense objectively was worse than the year before, so I get it. Ray Arnold wants to go for the draft. Ray, I mean, to be blunt, I don't think you should, but also, like, come on. I'd rather make the 10 game promise because a 6 point integrity hit isn't the end of the world. And I think Ray Arnold is probably going to be our best O lineman next year, so we need to keep him around. All right, players, seniors that are graduating. We have 15 graduating seniors. No QBs leaving. No running backs leaving. Wide receiver, though, we are losing some guys. Maddox Lincoln, who I think was a really good wide receiver for us the 2 years we were here. Obviously, he got injured this season. Braxton Barrett took the kick returner job, which I think hindsight 2020, after a few games, I should have switched that back, but that is what it is. Carter Grace also did really well this year. Had a lot of touchdowns. The man did fumble 2 seasons ago in an end around, and I always found that very funny. But he had a pretty good season this year. Never really got a lot of touchdowns, but that is what it is. And then Braxton Barrett, who never really played at all. Like the AI put him at running back. I moved him to wide receiver, and he had 1 target this year, but he was pretty much only a kick returner. So we're losing a little bit in the wide receiver department. I think we can replace the production, but we are losing a bit. Tight end, we're losing no one. Offensive line, we're losing 3 guys. Julian Lewis, Jake Newman, and Tyler Stanley. I'm going to be honest, my opinion soured on Julian Lewis very quickly. I think he just gave up a decent amount of sacks relative to how good he was on the O-line. Copy and paste that with Drake Newman. He had got objectively worse this year. Didn't do all that great. And then Tyler Stanley had a much better year, I would say, with 15 pancakes as a back-end starter. Kicker, obviously, we're not losing anyone. Defensive coordinator, we're losing Ben Aggie. That's going to hurt. We are losing a few linebackers, only 1 corner and 2 safeties, including Brent Wise. So I think we have a lot of work to do. And that's I think the most annoying part of being a coordinator is you know exactly what your team needs are. You know what positions you prioritize. You know how much money you would give to certain players. And the AI just doesn't do that. And there is a part of that that's stressful because I'm looking at that and I'm thinking to myself, if I was in charge of recruiting, if I was in charge of the transfer portal, we would have a much better team. So that's where we're at. All right, 1 player is transferring, and it is Adonis Bean. Here's the problem, though. I don't really have a backup QB, but also he wants, all the opportunities in the free world, and obviously Lawrence Kirk is going to get that. So that means Alex Hill is going to be our backup QB next year. which is kind of terrifying, unless the AI brings in someone from the transfer portal, but I don't see why they would. So yeah, Adonis Bean is gone. He is going to transfer out. Best of luck in the wars to come. I hope he starts somewhere. I'll make a note to check up on him after the transfer portal. Running back, no one is transferring. I do need to make some cuts though, because I think 8 running backs is a bit much. Realistically, I think it's Amarian Hagar or Chris Sexton. I think it's Hagar. Because that takes me to. And again, running it back with the same top 3 running backs next year is terrifying, but ideally they'll all get pretty big boosts because they're all sophomores. They have solid potential. They all got a decent amount of playing time. So hopefully that leads to big games. Wide receiver, none of them are transferring, which is good. Yeah, I mean, River Reed now being our top wide receiver on paper, despite being our like 6th wide receiver last year, is kind of terrifying. But we'll see. I mean, I have a pretty good like top 7, I would say, at wide receiver. Jacob Dumas just may not play, and that is what it is. If he threatens a transfer, it's not the end of the world, but he's a good depth option. Tight end, I'm cutting the walk on for obvious reasons. I'll still see about changing Jaden Willis's position in case I don't want him to be a tight end, but I think we're okay at tight end. O line, I mean, what do you want from me? Like, it's going to be very depressing until it isn't. I'm going to keep everyone because I can't really afford to cut anyone. I think the one to cut would be Alfredo Conejo, but I'd rather keep him. So we're going to keep everybody in the O line. Going to keep both of our kickers, obviously. I think Rory Lane just didn't have a great year. He missing the short kick in the bowl game is the one that legitimately angers me. If you miss a couple medium kicks and a long kick, it is what it is. But I mean, the man missed a 24-yarder. I imagine it was blocked, but in this game, like you can't block punts or specialty like punts or field goals. Like that just doesn't exist. So that is what it is. He did miss 3 extra points, which isn't nothing, but he is going to be our kicker next year. So. And obviously, I can't choose which defensive players to cut. I will say the fact that the AI won't move any of these safeties to corner will never not be annoying. So we are transferring out one player. Adonis Bean is leaving for more playing time. We're cutting Amari and Hagar. To be frank, he's never really going to play. He's the worst running back we have of the guys that I can cut. And then we're cutting the walk-on tight end. All right. We're down to 71 out of 85 players, which I think is an okay number, but inevitably the AI is only going to transfer like 4 people in. So that is what it is. It's a little frustrating, but what can you do? What can you do, I say? We'll go to the draft. I think we had one player that was getting looks at draft, and that was Ben Aggie. Yeah, drafted in the 2nd round early. Good pickup. So yeah, this is our transfer room. And I don't think I'm going to really regret missing any of these guys. Adonis Bean, I think, was a good backup, but we have Lawrence Kirk. So he's not going to get the playing time he wants. Amarian Hagan, just get rid of him. How many guys did TCU lose after the season they had? They lost a handful. All right. Fair enough. Hall of Fame inductees, handful of players. Ring of Honor inductees. Hey, Xander Cohen got inducted to the Hall of Fame there. Good for him. Good for him. And he was a backup in 2027. The AI starts him for a couple years. He gets tight end of the year, All American Conference USA. Good for him. All right. Let us advance to the transfer portal. And as is the same with recruiting, as a offensive coordinator, I can do nothing with the transfer portal. Nothing at all. What I will take a quick look at is how many players are we ahead on right now? We are ahead on 11, and we have 14 open scholarship spots. Looks like we're looking at a couple O-line transfers. Why are we looking at a kicker? It's stuff like this that just wouldn't happen if a human was in control, and I think that's what's most frustrating. Like, why are we going after a kicker? We have Rory Lane, who is ideally only going to get better because he's young and he has good potential. Like, why, game? Why are we going after a tight end? Why just had a true freshman at tight end who should have made the all freshman? Whatever. Just you know what? I'm just gonna save an advance through. I'm not gonna look because it's just gonna annoy me. I am not gonna look. It is just going to annoy me. So we're gonna sim through the transfer portal. See what we get. I think my personal goals offensively, if we could get some offensive line help, if we could get like a backup QB, that'd be nice. So we'll see. All right, let's reveal everybody. Boom. We didn't get Riley Roberts. That's upsetting. All right, so high school recruits, we get a running back who's not very quick. He's got okay evasion, though. We get a bunch of defensive players. We get a redshirt freshman linebacker transfer from Georgia. He looks pretty good. Solid coverage ability, also. We get a potential O-line recruit. We get a bad redshirt freshman recruit from A&M. We get a tight end. I'm going to be honest. Kyle Wiley, I'm moving him to O-line. Like, I would rather roll with my true freshman at tight end, a position that we don't throw the ball to because, we're air raid, and give a guy with 89 pass block in the O-line. Like, he's an O-lineman. So good get there. Anything else? No. So, I mean, in transfers, that's how many transfers did we get? 1, 2, 2. We got 2 transfers. Or no, excuse me. We got 3. 3 transfers. So this is our recruiting class. We got 9 4-stars, 10 3-star recruits. Highest overall, we got a 79 safety, 77 O-lineman, 77 linebacker. Team recruiting rankings, Baylor is 29. It should be said that auto recruit continues to not recruit like any players at all. 29, I think, is pretty good. Where are we in the Big 12? 3rd, behind the UCF and Kansas State. Of note, TCU, despite only having 1 loss and making the playoff, had the 4th best recruiting class. Okay. The 2-star brought down their average. That's the only reason why. They had a better recruiting class than we did. All right. Interestingly, I'll just take a look. Charlotte did not have a good recruiting class. 13, 3 stars, 1 star. New Mexico had possibly the worst recruiting class in the game. Yeah, I think I made a good decision to stay as the offensive coordinator of Baylor than go to either of those head coaching jobs. We lose prestige. Man, that bowl game loss to Georgia State is just going to haunt this program forever, isn't it? We're back to 5. Unbelievable. And we didn't make that much money either because we only made 3 million from the bowl. We did not get a single donor goal, and we made no money on our scheduling because the AI is idiotic. Yep. I mean, that's also how you get 0 upgrades to any aspect of your school. Well, that's depressing. Any booster updates? Anything of note? I hope we don't lose the diamond guy. We lost the gold. All right. Good news, we keep 3 diamonds. Bad news, we lose one of our gold, but that is what it is. It's not great because we lost him, and then one of the other gold donors we have is very old. So he might leave next year. No conference realignment because I like the way the schedule is. And what? Oh, it's one home for. Okay, first of all, one home for 2 away. Whatever. Against Bama, that's just stupid because you lose money on the payout twice, hand over fist. 2 home for 1 away against New Mexico is the most idiotic thing in the history of the world. You lose $10 million for this. Over the span of 3 years, you lose 10 million. What a stupid thing to do. God. That's so idiotic. We get SMU for a home and home, so we're going to get $1 million back. But God, the way AI does things is so weird sometimes. All right, we only have 5 home games this year. 4 of them are in the first half of the season, which means we are probably going to be the first visit for a lot of recruits that we're going after, which is going to suck. Big 12 conference games, we're facing BYU, Cincinnati, Kansas State, and Kansas. All right, so we avoid Iowa State, which is fine. Who else do we avoid? Oklahoma State. All right. I mean, that's not a great schedule just by how the home and away games are put out, but so be it. This just annoys me so much. You're literally lighting money on fire. You're sacrificing $10 million so that you can get one more win, like almost a guarantee win. So each 3 seasons. That's so stupid. I'm sorry, it just is. I can't wait to be a head coach. Yeah, I think our next job needs to be a head coaching job. So ideally, here's the hope. We have a better year at Baylor. We're competitive in the Big 12. Maybe we make the Big 12 championship game, and then we bail for a head coaching job. I think that's the line that will be most indicative to our career success. All right, position changes. So they made Jaden Willis a linebacker. I can only change him offensively, so I can't put him at defense. So I guess in that case, I'm going to keep him at tight end. I would almost be tempted to put him like at linebacker or something, but so be it. Okay, position changes. So the only one I have written down is Kyle Wiley is going to become an O-lineman. The man has 89 pass block before he gets his first offseason game. Like, I have to do that. QB, obviously, no changes position wise. Running back. So here's the thing. I think having Garrett Weaver, Gunnar Trotter, and Sam Waite running it back again isn't ideal. But also, if I move them to wide receiver, they're not going to play. Like, Cameron Tahir is going to get a big development boost. Jacob DeMoss is a solid depth guy. Like, there's no reason to move him. So it is unfortunate, but I am running it back with three very similar running backs again. Um, Thomas Flores, I've been debating moving to wide receiver. He becomes our worst wide receiver, admittedly. Polk is going to redshirt. So, is it better to be our sixth running back versus I think I'll move into wide receiver and we'll just see how that plays. I'd move Ricardo Manning to running back for the hilarity of it, but I won't. So yeah, I mean, I'm rolling the dice with the young kid Hilton. Like, we're doing it. Adolfo Small is a 79 rated wide receiver, and it's purely because of his speed. Like, he can't really catch. However, he's not ever really going to play at tight end, so I might as well move him to running back and to wide receiver and just see how he shapes up. Because there's no point in keeping him a tight end. He'd be our third tight end, and I only need two. So that's that. No other positional changes. Again, I can't change the AI, so I would definitely move one of these safeties to corner to help out in that room, but that is what it is. Okay, let us advance to offseason games. Running back is huge. Like, we need one of the top three, Weaver, Trotter, or Wadey, to separate themselves from the pack. I need to see a +5, please. Even a +4. I will take a +4. But a +5 is the ideal. I'll take +4. +5 would be phenomenal. Yeah, I feel like promising Ray Arnold we'd win 10 games to stay was the correct decision. He's 100 overall. That'll do. All right, let's take a gander. First things first, QB. Ooh. Lawrence Kirk goes up by 3 for his senior year. His potential cratered from a B- to a C, but it's his last game period, so I don't care. He does get 4 accuracy boosts and 5 IQ. That's big. I'm a happy man. He got a little bit quicker, got a little bit stronger, but I mean the accuracy and the IQ is huge. That's really good for his senior year. Happy with that. Alex Hill got +9 to IQ, 5 for accuracy, 7 for arm strength. Don't get me wrong, he's still not a great backup QB, but it's a step in the right direction for him. The recruits, Stanley Joseph, really good really good arm strength and IQ gains. Maxime Campbell improved his potential, big accuracy gain, but that IQ is going to be a problem for like 3 years. So realistically, he's never going to see the field. Running back, come on, +4, +5. Oh, Garrett Weaver only got a +1. Uh, he got worse. His ball skills got worse, guys. His ball skills got worse. How do you go from being my number one running back to being fourth on the depth chart? Oh boy. I mean, Gunnar Trotter, his ball security didn't move, but ball carrier vision up by 6, much quicker, much stronger. He's my number one. Samuel Waite got much quicker, much more evasive. Not that only +1 to ball security. Did our running backs just not work on ball security in the offseason? Boston Henry got a little, I mean, he lost 2 evasion, which isn't nothing, but his ball skills got a big boost. I still think Garrett Weaver is ahead of Henry in the depth chart, but my God, dude. Chris Sextus, his potential went up. Overall went up by 3. That's pretty good. Andrew Drayton, the recruit, got worse. I don't want to talk about it. Well, worse potential, that is. Aiden Taylor got better potential, much more athletic. Okay. I mean, Garrett Weaver only going up by +1 is the most depressing thing I've seen so far. I think it's Trotter 1, Waite 2, and then Boston Henry and Garrett Weaver can fight for the 3rd spot. Wide receiver, that's depressing. Ricardo Manning goes up by 5, which is really good because I need a definitive number one wide receiver. I think he's it. River Reed goes up by 3, despite probably not playing as much as he would have wanted. Elliot Paul gets a pretty good boost to speed and catching. Caleb Matthias, who had a very solid year, doesn't get that big of a boost as I would like. Hayden Hanna is awesome. His speed is 101. Thank you. Amari Escobar, who I think had 1 target the whole season, he goes up by 5. Very good from him. Cameron Tahir's potential got a lot worse, but he had good gains this year. Adolfo Small, who we moved from running back to wide receiver, got 0 catching boosts, 0 athletic. Yeah, he's just never going to play. Jacob Dumas got a little more athletic. Ball skills didn't change. Leonardo Polk, the recruit, his potential got worse. Okay gains, though. And then Thomas Flores, his potential got worse. Kind of a mixed bag for the wide receivers. I mean, I'm really happy about Escobar, Hanna, and Ricardo Manning, but Matthias only going up by 2. Adolfo Small, Dumas barely getting anything. Polk, potential got worse. It's not great. Tight end, yeah, +6. Thank you. He should have made the all-freshman team. The fact that he didn't is a travesty. Avery Harris goes up by 5. Pretty good backup. And then looks like we got another walk-on at tight end. So Jaden Willis is going to redshirt, obviously. But I'm happy with Hilton's gains. His potential goes down to a B+, which I don't love. But, I mean, he's never going to redshirt, so I don't need to worry about an extra year of development. Might as well get big gains now. His blocking, by the way, +6 run block, +11 pass block. Okay, O-line. This is big. Holy Moses, 3 +9s. That'll do. That'll do. Ray Arnold gets 11 better strength. It's up to 119, 94 run block, 84 pass block. Christian Snyder only gets +2 pass block. He was one of our worst linemen last year in terms of pass blocking, and it barely got better. But he's a much better run blocker now, gets a little bit more strength. Quinn Fernandez, +9 to pass block. I'll take it. It's still only a 68. Liam Drayton, only a +2. Oh, Kirk is going to be running for his life even more than he did last season, and I didn't think that was possible. So yeah, Drayton's definitely going to play his first year of JUCO. Jesus, his potential got better. Pass book up by 5, I'll take it. Dawson Shaw, who redshirted last year, +8 pass block. Thank you, Dawson. The freshman knows what's up. Kyle Wiley, who is the athlete that I made an O-line, the correct decision. He's up to 92 pass block. Meyer gets stronger, but his pass block doesn't move. Alfredo Cornejo. I feel like I should have cut him when I had the chance. Strength doesn't move. Potential gets a little better, but down here, recruit Daniel Renteria. Its potential got worse, but plus 12 opener for strength is pretty good. Yeah, a pretty good. I think the gains in terms of overall are good. The lack of pass blocking is worrisome. I think it's even worse than last year. Rory Lane goes up by 4. Power goes up by 6. That's pretty good. Punt power up by 7. I'll take it. Moises Anderson after redshirting doesn't get that much better. I think if I'm still here at Baylor in 3 years, we're going to need a new kicker after Rory's gone. Moises, I don't think, is the answer. All right. Let's save an advance to the offseason. We have the same coaching staff. I'm staying with the air raid pass heavy offense. Yeah, I think the offense is still the weakness in terms of talent, but we kind of knew that going in. Let's be honest with ourselves here. We knew that going in. So let us advance to the preseason. And then before we do anything, I do want to check on our former backup QB, Adonis Bean, to see where he ended up. I hope he got a starting job. Because I think he's a good QB, especially in a QB that has like a running game. We don't really have a option game or anything like that. But I mean, Adonis Bean would be a good guy for it. So let me just quickly take a gander, see where he ended up. Hawaii. Surely he's the starter at 81 overall. There we go. Very good. Adonis Bean ended up at Hawaii, where he is the starter. Good for him. All right, we'll see how he does in the Mountain West. Sweet. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. I am going to do depth chart stuff now and then end the video, and then I'll do the whole rest of the preseason off stream. I mean, I'm just clicking through recruiting. There's nothing really for me to do as a coordinator. So let's get this depth chart sorted out. Quarterback. Very simple. Lawrence Kirk is the starter. Alex Hill is the backup. Both Stanley Joseph and Maxine Campbell will redshirt. Running back gets a little tricky. I think Andrew Drayton and Aiden Taylor redshirt. I'm going to have Gunnar Trotter be our number 1 running back. I think he's also going to be our short yardage back again. Even though he's a receiving back, he's the strongest guy I got. He had 9 touchdowns last year. And yeah, I think Samuel's the second, Garrett Weaver's the third, and Boston Henry's the fourth again. I think Boston Henry probably wants to strangle me. Like, I don't know why he didn't transfer after 2028, but he's a loyal man, and I respect it. I could honestly make the argument that Garrett Weaver should be ahead of Samuel again. But the problem with Garrett Weaver is just, from an athleticism standpoint, there's nothing he's done well. Like, from last year to this year, his speed went up by 3, evasion strength went up by 1. So he's not quick, and he's not strong. So, what can he really do? Last year, he was our number 1 running back, but he didn't do great. Like, Trotter, despite averaging worse average yards per carry, I think is a better running back. Samuel Waite, I think, he's earned the opportunity to get that backup running back job. So we'll see how it plays. Wide receiver. Okay, this is going to involve probably the most thinking, without question. The bottom, I think I'll do first. Adolfo Small is definitely 10th. He can't really catch. Thomas Flores is definitely 9th. Both of my, running back, tight end converts to wide receiver are going to be at the bottom. Jacob Dumas, I think, is 8, which is kind of harsh on the JUCO guy, but like he's a worse pass catcher than almost everyone else in the room. He has worse route running. Well, route running is not bad. He's just worse than Cameron Tahir. He's a little quicker, a little more evasive. I think I'd rather Tahir. So that's a bottom three done. 7, 6, and 5. I think this might just be the order as written. Well, no. So I think Ricardo Manning is definitely number one. He is the best catcher. He is decently quick. His evasive is 96. He's number one. Elliot Paul over River Reed, I think, makes sense. He's quicker. He's more evasive. He's a better catcher. I'm losing a decent amount of route running, but that's the easiest trade in the world. River Reed is 3 over Matthias. I think really it's a question of how much do you care about evasion. Because River Reed's evasion is an 85, which that'll play. He's a better route runner than Matthias. Catching is the exact same. Matthias is quicker. I think I'll have River Reed be 3. I lied. I'm going to have Matthias be 3. River Reed can be 4. I think Matthias had a much better year last year. I think I want to reward that. Whereas River Reed just didn't play for a few games and such. And then I think Hayden Hanna is 5. Amari Escobar 6. Yeah, I think really the two big questions of the depth chart are who is 3, Matthias or Reed, and who is 6, Escobar to here. To here, he had 11 catches, 109 yards last year. Escobar barely played. He was targeted once. I think I'll start with Tahir 6, and we'll just see what happens. That's kind of where I'm at wide receiver. I like it. I like our group. We only have one senior also, so provided nobody in the back end transfers, we'll be pretty good. Tight end, we're going to redshirt both Willis and the walk-on. Liam Hilton's number 1. Avery Harris is number 2. We're running it back with the same 2 guys again. Offensive line. Okay, this may take a hot second. First, let me redshirt the couple of recruits that we got. Okay. Ray Arnold is number 1. That goes without saying. Christian Snyder is number 2. That goes without saying. Then, I think the debate begins. I think Fernandez is 3. Yeah, I'm losing a little bit of run blocking, but I'm getting a better pass blocker and a stronger guy. Liam Drayton at 4 makes sense. I think Dawson Shaw, the redshirt freshman who did not play last year, I think he's 5. Ooh, or Kylie Wiley. Yeah, it's Kyle. It's Kyle Wiley. I'm going to keep calling him Kylie Wiley for the bit. I think Wiley is 5. Definitely. The only reason his overall is low, and I don't know if they still display it, but he's tiny. So he gets an overall drop. But I think he's 5. I think Dawson Shaw, I think he's still 6. The 64 run block is annoying, but he's a better pass blocker than Cohen. I think I'll throw him out there to the Wolves. Cohen at 7, I think makes sense. He did okay last year. Keep him in the fold. 8. Redshirt freshman Jake Rouse. I can't throw a 64. I can't do it. I know the guy just transferred in from A&M or whatever, but he has 64 pass block. I can't throw that out there. So yeah, it's gonna be Rouse. I think if an O lineman gets injured, we're in serious trouble. And if one of them do, I'm probably just gonna slam this down to 7. And come what may. I might do that anyway. now that I think about it, because I think seven get my worst O lineman is Jesus, who is just well rounded. He's not particularly good at anything. He's just well rounded. And that gives me Jake Rouse off the bench. I like that more. I like that more. Kicker, obviously, Rory Lane is our kicker. I think he had some really bad misses last year, but we'll see what he can do this season. Return specialist they have is Ricardo Manning. I think I agree. I'm tempted with Hayden Hanna. Obviously, he has 101 speed, but his evasion is only a 78, and his ball carrier vision is a 57, which I think that's just too low. So I think we're going to go with Ricardo as our kick return man, and then next year we'll have more options to see what we want. But that's the depth chart. I think I am happy with QB, wide receiver, and tight end. I think running back, I'm disappointed that none of them separated from the pack in the offseason. Garrett Weaver, especially. Like, I don't know how he only got, what was it, one better overall. His athleticism barely changed. His ball carrier vision didn't move, and his ball security got worse. Like, that's crazy to me. After a 600-yard season with a couple touchdowns, so that's annoying. O line, I like it, but if any of my top four guys get injured, we're in serious trouble. It looks like defensively, we got good depth at D line, but outside of Collier, no top guy. Linebacker, I'm terrified. Corner, we're great. Safety, we're solid. I think that's kind of where we're at. That is where we're at. All right. And that is where I will end it. I think a disappointing last season. Going 7-6, losing the bowl game against Georgia State. I think we had a chance last season to build on the success of 2028. We just didn't do it. The head coaching jobs weren't great. I mean, the offers were Charlotte and New Mexico. I think neither of them are what we're looking for. And so, point simply, we're at Baylor for a third year. I think that's not a bad thing. We got decent time with one program as an offensive coordinator. Um, but I do think this year is going to be our last year as a coordinator. Like, I'm not saying I'll take any head coaching job offered, but there's a certain point with being a coordinator that just I'm getting tired of not being able to do anything with recruiting and our team being worse because of it. I'm not in charge of scheduling, so that we get both a tremendously difficult schedule with facing Alabama every year for the past 3 years, and also scheduling a team like New Mexico, causing us to lose $10 million over a 3 year span. Like, that's insane and should not happen. So that is something that I'm looking forward to being a head coach again. So I thank you all for watching. We'll probably have one more episode in the series this week. I might honestly make it a bit longer episode and see if we can just get through the entire 2030 season. That might be a bit ambitious, but we'll see how things shake out. But I thank you all for watching. Where we pick up next time, it will be week 1. We will see how this Baylor team looks going into year 3. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you next time.